And now for something old and a little bit fun. It's episode 8 of Midlander in the Mountains. Run VT! For longer than I care to mention, I've been driving north on the A2 Autobahn in Austria near the exit of Grimmenstein, and as I glance over to my left, I can see a building perched on the hillside there in the forest, and I've often wondered what it was. Well, the answer is Grimmenstein Castle, or to give it its correct Austrian name, Burg Grimmenstein, and today we are going to visit it. So, you leave the A2 Autobahn, which runs between Vienna and Graz at the exit of Grimmenstein. Follow the signs to the Burg. Drive past the old mill. Then do a right. And you'll find yourself in the car park. From here, you can take a 30-minute walk through the forest, or alternatively, you can use the park and ride service, which is provided by the castle itself. However, I'm always burning off the chocolate, so for me, it's time to use the feet. Leave the castle car park on the tarmac road in the direction of uphill, and just follow the signs. I'm following the road, but I think I need to be somewhere up there. I almost forgot. So, in German, there are two words for a castle: Burg, B-U-R-G, or Schloss. Now, a burg is more akin to a fortified castle in the traditional sense, and a schloss is more like a palace. So now you know. So here we are at Burg Grimmenstein, and this could certainly be part of a film set. However, I can assure you that there's not a bit of polystyrene or plywood in sight, and the bridge behind me just sort of adds to the atmospheric effect of the place. Now, the self-styled lord of this castle, seen here resplendent in historic costume, is Marcus Albero Grimmenstein, and he has owned this place since 2014, restoring it himself. Thankfully for visitors, he's kept a pictorial history of that, which he's most proud to show anyone who would like to have a look. But he has admitted that his English is a little bit limited, so he's given me the job of showing you around. Lucky you lot. Burg Grimmenstein was built on the remains of a Roman fortification, but there is evidence to suggest that there was something here even before that. When you enter Burg Grimmenstein, most people probably just walk past this wall and don't really pay it much attention. But this is where the original foundations of the castle, which date back to at least the Roman watchtower, and the later renovations actually meet, hence the colour change. But don't forget that before the Roman watchtower, there was a Celtic settlement here, and it's believed that parts of this wall are up to 3,000 years old. Walk through the door to your left, out of the small reception area, and you're into the Knight's Hall. I sincerely hope that taxidermy is to your taste, as there's plenty of it. There is, of course, the Grimmenstein family tree. I do particularly like the bear and his friend. Can you imagine what it's like being here at night? And Marcus Albero Grimmenstein really does live here. And this would be a very good time for me to tell you that the Knight's Hall can be rented out. First mentioned in the year 850, the name Grimmenstein comes from the local stone on which this castle is built. Grimmenstein literally translates into English as grim stone. But the name was first used by a family later in the 12th century when a local knight, Kuno von Kakao, acquired the castle and began to call himself Kuno von Kakao of Grimmenstein. His first son, Albero I, was born here, so he was entitled to use the name, therefore becoming Albero I of Grimmenstein. And his shield, or Wappen in German, is one castle tower. Albero I became a good friend of Leopold V of Austria, the ruler in this area at that time, and he accompanied him on the Third Crusades, namely the Siege of Acre, or Aachen in German, in 1191. Here it is said that Leopold V fought so hard that the white robes he was wearing were so bathed in the blood of his enemies. When he took off his belt, there was a white stripe in the middle, and this eventually became the flag of Austria. However, I digress. There was a double cross at the Siege of Aachen, and there were three main players: Prince Philip II of France, Duke Leopold V of Austria, and King Richard I of England, Richard the Lionheart. And it is said that after a successful end to the siege, a power-sharing plan had been drawn up by the victors. King Richard tore down the standard of Leopold, and he was forced to retreat not only from the city and the country, which is situated in modern-day Israel, but back to Austria. Vengeance was to come for Leopold. On his return, King Richard was shipwrecked and was forced overland to make his way back to England through Austria, where Duke Leopold was waiting. He took him prisoner and then handed him over to the Emperor, who demanded a huge ransom in order for his return back to England. The onus for raising this ransom fell on Richard's wife, and taxes in England were raised enormously. It was eventually paid and Richard returned to England. However, I think it is fair to say that Duke Leopold got his revenge. Throughout all of this, the Grimmensteins remained loyal to Duke Leopold, and this continued with Albero I's son, Albero II of Grimmenstein. He became a loyal friend and associate of Leopold VI of Austria. He's recorded in many court documents. In fact, Albero II of Grimmenstein became what is known as a pincierna, or a cupbearer, which was an extremely high office in a medieval court. The power of the family had grown in the meantime and they had acquired more castles. So when we get to the time of Albert II, his shield bears 3 towers. However, by the end of the 13th century, the male line of the Grimmensteins had died out. And slowly, over centuries, the castle fell into disrepair. Fast forward to 1963, and a man called Johann Riegler, who bought the castle and restored it as best as he could to what it had looked like in its medieval heyday. Then, in 2014, Lord Grimmenstein the Recent acquired the castle, and it's now open to the public for you to visit. Make your way downstairs from the Knights Hall and you come to a lovely little gift shop. Full of lots of souvenirs of your visit and a few things that have been found which are not for sale. Plenty of jewellery though. And it was in here that I was shown a little gem, an original manuscript by Johann Riegler himself. Map of Noricum, the Celtic name for the area. And here is a drawing of what things would have looked like on the hillside 1,000 years ago. And on the way out, there's a warning to those who don't pay their cafe bill. Walk back up the stairs and you get a glimpse of Marcus Albero Grimmenstein's bathroom. Yes, it really is. Now we can forgive him the modern convenience of a flushing lavatory. If you've ever seen a medieval toilet, you'd know why. The top floor is the penthouse suite, so to speak, and that looks like a badger holding a piece of corn on the cob. Yep, definitely is. I must confess at this point, I did have a bit of bedroom envy, but it's not for rent. Not even for just one night. Hold on, what was that exactly? Oh, the fox, over there. Oh, a vixen with an eyesight problem. This guy has definitely got a sense of humour. And now up the last few steps to the top floor. The obligatory taxidermy. And then, tucked away in the corner, I spied this. Perfect little place to pour hot boiling tar on unwanted guests. And the date at the bottom of this lovely piece of artwork on the wall is 1964, the first full year of Johann Riegler's restoration. And now it's time in the film where I say, let's take in the view. It's the roof shot. So, only a mile or so from the A2 Autobahn at the Grimmenstein exit. I hope you've enjoyed your time here at Burg Grimmenstein, and I'll see you next time on Midlander in the Mountains. Until then, ta-da!